Hi friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads, and it's time for me to play the game of a bookish life for May. And we're already in May because I had a bit of a disaster this week. So thank you to everyone who's sent me all the well wishes about my calf. It's painful and it's doing better. Like, it's actually healing quite well. I have a lot of restrictions as to what I'm allowed to do right now with it, but I'm being very, very careful. And it's healing quickly. Like, every day I see progress and I just love to see it. So things are going well. I just was like, this is not the time for that. I don't really want to be hurting myself. But, you know, things happen. And, you know, as you get older, certain muscles don't respond the same way to quick sprinting. So be careful. Once you hit 40, it's never the same. So for last month, the month of April, this was my TBR for the game of bookish life. And as far as how it went, I actually can't say that I have the best progress, but I still have some progress, which is better than some months. So I did read The Bandit Queens completely by Parini Schroff, and I am halfway through Mozart's Starling by Leanda Lynn Haupt. I have not yet read Rabbit Cake by Anne Hartnett or Antigone, Oedipus, and Electra by Sophocles. So these two are actually going to go back on my current TBR cart, and these are all the books that I pulled for different reasons. They're sitting here because I have different reasons I want to read them, and when I get the opportunity to pick up a new book, I try to make these ones work with whatever prompts end up coming up. So that's the goal, but at least I finished this one, and I am more than halfway through with this one, and I'll talk a little bit more about this one in this video later on. So with that being said, if you don't know anything about my TBR game, I will link a video up here where it gives basic rules and instructions as to how my game is played and tells you how the game has changed over the years. You can also check out my backlog of TBR videos if you want to find out how this game has worked in the past, and then of course some of the changes I've made for this year, because I've made some pretty big changes as to how I like to play this game. So for the month of April, we did have at least 10 viewers submit their viewer prompt. So I have 10 moves for the very first move, and thank you so much to everyone who's continuing to participate, because then you get put on my little spinner wheel where you have the opportunity to win a free book every quarter. I give one book away every quarter. That's my new thing that I did this year, and it turned out really well, and it's been a lot of fun so far to see everyone completing different books for the viewer prompts, and to see somebody win, because somebody won for the first quarter and I got to send them a book. So it was really fun getting the opportunity to do that. Okay, so luckily I had at least 10 people help out this month, so I'm gonna be starting here, but I'll be going 10 spaces, which means we're really close to the end, and I may end up finishing the game before getting all my prompts. So we're probably just gonna do as many spins as it takes me to get to the end of the game, and whatever spin is my last spin, which will be one of these two, will be the group prompt. So we'll see, unless I spin like a 1 every single time. But I get to move 10 spaces on the very first move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a genre spinner wheel. So my very first prompt is a genre spinner wheel, which means I spin the wheel and whatever color it lands on is the genre or type of book that I will be reading from. 6 is purple. Purple is a classic. Do I feel like reading a classic right now? Okay, interesting. All right, that's fine. I like classics. I'm not someone who gets really upset about having to read classics, so this is not a difficult one to put on my TBR. I don't necessarily know that it was something I was planning on reading, although I really was thinking, well, this is a great opportunity for me to actually get to Antigone, Oedipus, the King, and Electra, although I try not to put a book on my TBR game twice in a row because I feel like it's already on my TBR. I should be reading it anyways. So I didn't put that as that particular read. However, for the TBR Trail, the Quest, which is another TBR that I have to create each month because I'm part of this big ongoing competition, I needed to figure out a book that would work for that, which actually works for classics. And I will tell you about the reason it works for that later. But for the sake of this particular prompt of a book that is a classic, I'm going to be reading Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury because I need to reread this. I read it when I was way young, like high school young. So that was a long time ago. And I remember really enjoying it then. But it's been so long, and I have since read The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury and didn't like it. I DNF'd it. And so I'm not sure how much nowadays I'm going to enjoy Ray Bradbury's writing. And if I really don't end up liking Fahrenheit 451 now, maybe I just don't need to keep trying to read Ray Bradbury. Although I've heard some of his books. I mean, I'm interested in some of his books for sure, but if his writing style is not for me, it's not for me. Anyways, Fahrenheit 451 is about a time when book burning is the norm, and it's like very dystopian, and it's kind of appropriate for the times we are currently in, so I don't know how I'll feel about that. Although I don't tend to be turned off by dystopian that is too close to home. So I did start it recently because I ended up somewhere where I had to sit for a long time. Actually, it was at the clinic when I was getting my leg checked out, and I didn't have any books with me, but I did have the ebook for Fahrenheit 451. So I sat there and read for quite a while. And so far I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm remembering a lot of it. Like, even though I read it so many years ago, how many years ago was I a teenager? A very long time ago. So I think that this is going to be a good read. I'm looking forward to rereading this book. For my move number 2, it's spin number 1, and let's see what happens. A 5. Okay. Woo. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A book card. Okay. I land on book card all the time. I'm always happy to see what happens with book cards. And just so you know, I do take out the book cards that I pull and I put them in a separate pot, and then I will reintegrate them once I've gone through all these. Okay, let's go with this one. Viewer recommends. Okay. Didn't we do this? Didn't we already do this? I think I have multiple of these. So for prompt number 2, which is spin number 1, I don't get any choice in this. And hopefully this is fun for you because you get to dictate what I end up reading. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to ask you in the comment section down below to recommend a book for me. And try to keep one book per recommendation. I'd prefer that. Just one book per recommendation. If you want to put multiple recommendations, that would be great, but put them in separate comments, because what I'm going to do is in a week's time, after I've put this video out and you've made your recommendations, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do a randomizer to sort the comments, and I'm going to see what people recommended. And the book that comes up, the first one that comes up, is the book that I will get to this month, hopefully. Same way I've gotten to rabbit cake. I'm going to attempt to get to it as soon as possible, and of course make it work within all the books that I'm currently reading. And if not, it'll still be a book that's on my little TBR shelf that I'm going to prioritize over other books. And I will tell you, it's not like a book that gets on here doesn't ever get read, because I have been pulling from this stack a lot to do my TBR Trail TBRs, and for a lot of other things. I have been pulling from the books that are sitting here. So just know that it will get read. It just may not get read tomorrow. As far as what you want to recommend to me, of course, I would love for you to look at my Goodreads TBR and look at books that I physically own, because I have a shelf for that, and choose one of those. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You get to choose whatever you want. I just ask that it not be something where I have to pay $50 to get a really obscure book. If it's a book that I can easily come by, that would be much, much, much more preferable, because then I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on books, because I already spend too much money on books and don't need to bring any more books into my house, because I have a lot of books that just keep coming in. But really, I just can't wait to see what you want me to read and ask me to read. Also, I do know, and I remember that I need to read A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I just saw this over there, and I didn't have any room in my thing here for it before. But guess what? I've pulled enough books off of this, because I'm reading them, that I can add this, because it's one of the books I need to read anyways. Another viewer recommends book. So look at that, see? I'm doing good. Quite proud of myself. Time for what could be my last move. Move number 3, spin number 2. 7, yeah, definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exactly there. Okay, so now if I spin a 1 through 5, I get to buy 2 new books, and I read the most anticipated book, and that would mean that you would also read the most anticipated book, your most anticipated book. If I get a 6 through 10, then I'll be doing a giveaway for 2 books. 2 different people will be getting a book, and both of our prompts will be a library recommends, and that's actual recommendation from a library, a librarian, or maybe a library website or something like that. So let's see what's gonna happen. Either you're gonna win or I'm gonna win. Ah, it's me! I'm sorry. I'm not excited about that. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that means that I get to buy 2 new books, and maybe I will be picking up a most anticipated book that's coming out as my book choice. And then it also means that your viewer prompt is your most anticipated read. Okay, so I got a bit lucky there. Not only is this my 3rd prompt and final prompt for this video because I won the game, I also don't have to, well, I get to buy myself books, which I already complained in the last clip of buying too many books, but I wasn't too upset about this. I can make it happen. I can totally make it happen. So this is both my prompt and your prompt, and I'll talk about your prompt in a second. But for me, this is my most anticipated read. And this was perfect because I had been talking to Shell about Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. And the only way that I can easily listen to this as an audiobook, because I wanted to, well, she wanted me to pick more books that are relaxing because my life has been a little stressful lately with work and then all the stuff that's going on. And so I do tend to pick difficult books sometimes to read, and she was like, you just need something fun, something light, and a great audiobook, and one of my most anticipated books to read because everybody's loving Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm not getting the chance to love it yet. I'm going to be choosing this as not only my most anticipated books, but also as one of my books that I'm buying for myself, because I'm not going to actually buy the book, but I'm going to buy a temporary subscription to Audible so that I can listen to this on Audible, because that's like the only place you can find it. The other one, I don't know what I'm going to pick for it yet. I will let you know once I do buy a new book. I'll specifically say that this was for my TBR game. Yeah, and I have no clue what I really feel like reading, although maybe I should get Sunrise on the Reaping, because I am excited about reading Haymitch's story, and I'm having a little bit of FOMO, everybody reading this book and me not reading this book. So that might end up being the book that I pick up for the other book for me. So I'm going to read you the tagline for Dungeon Crawler Carl. It says, a man, his ex-girlfriend's cat, a sadistic game show unlike anything in the universe, a dungeon crawl where survival depends on killing your prey in the most entertaining way possible. The apocalypse will be televised. So this feels very much like a video game, and I've been told that it reads a lot like that, but it's a lot of fun. It's very funny. And because I loved World of Warcraft, like my friend Shell was like, you will love this. It'll give you World of Warcraft vibes. And so I'm really excited to be able to get on the bandwagon as far as reading this book, because a lot of people whose opinion I really trust, and of course, whose taste we don't always align on everything with, but this type of book we tend to align on, they've loved it, absolutely loved it. And the plan was to get to it right away and that to be the next audiobook that I listen to. But you'll see when I get to my TBR Trail TBR, that plans had to change. And I will get to Dungeon Crawler Carl. It will be the next audiobook I listen to, and I promise it's going to happen because I am very excited about that. And especially towards the end of the school year, I'm finding that my brain is mush. I just need a lot of help as far as whimsy and fun, and not worrying so much about really complex thought. I'm using my brain as much as I possibly can at this point, but it's starting to wear down. So I'm really excited about this audiobook. What this means for you is that your viewer prompt is also most anticipated read. So you need to read a book that you can't wait to get to. What book have you been either putting off because you don't want to read it yet and you're saving it for that perfect moment? Or what book has just come out and you can't wait to get your hands on it so you can just speed right through it? You get to choose your most anticipated book, and then I want you to come back down and let me know in the comment section down below after you've read it, that you've completed it, what was your star rating, and did it live up to the hype? Like, did it live up to your own hype? It's kind of like 5-star predictions, right? Did it actually give you what you were hoping for? Another book that I have to read in the month of May that I wasn't able to put on any TBRs, my Bookish Life TBR or my TBR Trail TBR, is my BookStara Readalongs group book, and that is Lachlan's by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the 3rd book in the Founders Trilogy, and I'm really excited to finish out this story and see what exactly happens. So this story in general is about, what is this about? It's been so long. It's been so long since we started the first book, and so much has happened that it's hard to remember what the first book was all about. So in the first book, we have this thief named Sanchia who steals this item that everybody wants to get their hands on. And her having this item could be detrimental to her and get her into a lot of trouble. But she finds that she wants to protect this item from all these powers that be, because it will change everything if they get their hands on it. So that's the basic premise of the story. Of course, a lot happens throughout the story. And in this, we're even jumping forward to some completely different stuff that's going on. It's been fun chatting with our group about this because there are some mixed feelings. There's, of course, some people who absolutely are obsessed. And then, of course, there are people who are not enjoying it so much. And there are situations in this story that are very like, I want to throw my book against the wall, because some characters really get the short stick within this series, and so you're just frustrated for those particular characters. So it's been a lot of fun in our group discussions to be able to talk through a lot of the feelings we have about this series, and I think that that tends to make for a really good group book discussion. So if you're looking for something for a group read or a buddy read or something, I think this series is a fun one because you get a lot of different opinions. I have started this just barely. I started it yesterday, and so I'm trying to read a little bit every day to make sure I have it all ready for the live show. So if you don't know about BookStara Readalongs, it's a read-along group that I do with my friends Danielle from BookStara and Paige from Pages with Paige. Each year we try to do 2 series, so this is the first series for this year. And we have a wonderful community where we talk about these books, not only through Discord, but also a live show we do at the end of each month. So if you'd like to join us and talk about the Founders Trilogy, if you've already read the Founders Trilogy and want to just come chat with us, please do so. I will link everything you need to know in the description box down below, including the Discord. Join us. Come talk with us. We would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Now let's talk about TBR Trail, the Quest, which is this competition TBR game that my friend Kim from Expedition Through Pages created. And last year she had a team that competed against her mom's team. And this year she asked my mom and I to do a mother-daughter duo so we could compete against each other. So Kim and her mom are on a team, the Azrays, and mom and I are on a team, the Centaurs. And we have at least 40 people on each team, which is incredible. We have a great turnout, and we're competing against each other. Our teams are strong, and we're gonna read all the books, and it's been so much fun. Last month was so much fun. Our live shows are like the highlight of my year so far. Honestly, it's been so awesome. We've just been having the time of our lives. So I highly recommend joining us, and you do get randomly added to a team, which I know for some people might not feel the best, but it works best for keeping the teams very even. And this last month, it was very, very close. It was so close. And I don't want to spoil anything if you want to join us and go back and like watch the previous videos. So I will link them up here, but of course, come back so you can see what I picked for my prompts for this month. And this month, we ended up getting some really challenging prompts. A couple of good ones, a couple of easy ones, but a couple of really hard ones that we were like, oh, how did this happen? Because last month we actually got so much easier prompts. So it was a difficult month. It was a bit difficult. So let's go through these prompts and I will let you know what I'm reading for them. The first prompt was to randomize a continent. And when we did the randomization, we ended up with Asia, which was perfect because I'm currently reading Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I'm not that far in, and I'm reading this for a video that I started a long time ago and have not been able to get back to. So this will push me forward into getting back to this video that I need to work on. And I'm really looking forward to reading this book because I believe it's a book that I'm going to love, but I just have had to put it down because of other reads. So I need to get back to it. Yeah, look, I'm like, you know, not even a quarter of the way through yet. But this is an epic generational saga that I never hear negative things about, or I rarely hear negative things about. I have heard so many great reviews for this that I've been wanting to read it for a very long time, and it just hasn't been one that I've been able to pick up. I am not going to restart it, although part of me kind of wants to. But I'm not going to restart it. I think I'm just going to go from where I'm at. Maybe go back to the beginning of the chapter or something and try to refresh myself. But I am going to get to this. And it's not the first book I'm working on this month, but I'm hoping it'll be the next one that I can pick up once I finish Mozart's Darling. So yeah, it's quite a chunky book, but I'm going to add it to this TBR because I need to get to it. So it'll kind of push me because I've been really competitive with TBR Trail. I'm wanting to get as many points for my team as possible. So I've been finding that I've been great at prioritizing these particular books. Our second prompt was a challenge prompt, and we won the challenge. So we got to have a free pick, which was great because we needed it Well, you'll see later that we needed it. And for this one, I had already started I Married a Mothman by Regine Abel. I had started it like a month or more earlier, and it was just one of the many books that I had started and not been able to finish. And I didn't have very far to go to finish this one. So I finished it within the very first day of getting our prompts. And with TBR Trail, you can absolutely use books that you've started and have not completed yet. So I was able to use that, make it work for this particular prompt, got those 3 points for my team right away. It was perfect. Prompt number 3 was a hard prompt, and this was in celebration of International Firefighters Day, which is actually tomorrow, the 4th of May. We got the prompt of reading a book that has a firefighter in it or has to do with a firefighter. And so, of course, this is the prompt that I'm using to read Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury for, because it's perfect. It's a classic, so it works for my game, but it's also perfect because it works for this very specific prompt of a book with a firefighter in it. Most of the people in my team are reading firefighter smut, which makes sense. And I probably would have chosen that too, except that I needed to read a classic. So this worked out perfectly. For prompt number 4, we ended up with an easy prompt, which was perfect because, well, you'll see with the next prompt why this was perfect. And we got a paperback book. So another book that I have started recently and have not finished is 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina Bastarrica. This is one of the books I'm reading for my Herkyed lowest rated books video, trying to finish all my lowest rated books, there's 5 of them, so that I can get that video out to you also. I feel like not only have I started a lot of books recently, but I've also started a lot of videos recently and not finished them. So I'm quite far along in this. In fact, since the live show, I've been trying to read 2 stories a day. And so I was about halfway through in this by the time that I decided to use this for a paperback prompt. But now I'm close to the end. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, I only have that much more to go. So I'm doing really, really well with getting this completed. And so once I get this done, that'll give me another easy 3 points for my team. And then where it all went downhill was prompt number 5. We got an extremely hard prompt, and the prompt was over 1,000 pages. Which is just the meanest thing, the most cruel thing ever, a book that's over 1,000 pages. And for this one, I actually am determined to do it. I know that I can, and the way that I'm going to do it is by reading The Stand by Stephen King. This is a reread for me, so the nice thing about this is that I'm listening to it on audiobook. I'm putting it up a little faster than I typically would listen to. I mean, for me, faster means 1.5 speed. It's not going to be really fast. I can't do what all you incredible listeners can do, where you can do like 2 times speed or 2.5. That just that scrambles my brain. And because I've already read this book in the past, I don't need to focus on it so intently that if I miss things, I need to constantly go back and go back and go back, which sometimes happens with audiobooks for me. And plus, I know that the audiobook of this is good because the last time I listened to it was on audiobook. The narrator's fantastic. The audiobook was engaging. It was 9 years ago that I first read The Stand, and I would sit in my car after getting home and just listen for a while. So I know that I really liked the audiobook of this. And so I really need to stay on top of this particular one because I need to listen to a certain percentage each and every day in order to finish it in time, because it is a very long audiobook. It was like, how many hours? At least 48 or 49 hours or something like that. And I'm a little concerned because in the last few days that I've been listening to it, I haven't been listening to the percent amount that I need to, because I was listening to it at 1.2 speed. So today I popped it up to 1.5 speed, and I'm gonna try and listen to it even on the weekends and maybe when I'm doing like chores or stuff around the house, although I can't do much chores right now because of my leg. But I'm gonna get those points for my team. I'm determined it's gonna happen. So for prompt number 6, we did a gameplay prompt, which I'm not gonna give you all the details about that, but it changes the way the game is played or what you have to do within the game. And the prompt that came along with it was to pick a book that features music within the story. So it can't just be like it has a song word in the title. The story has to actually feature music within it in some way. And so I was lucky because last month when I randomized my TBR, I had to read Mozart's Starling by Leanda Lynn Hoft. And this is a nonfiction book all about really living with starlings. More about starlings and their relationship with music and the sounds that they can make and how they are mimics, because Mozart actually owned a starling himself, and he met the starling at a shop when he heard it singing one of his songs, and he bought it and took it home. It became a family pet, a well-loved family pet, and it helped him create other music. And of course, starlings here in the US are highly looked down upon because they are so invasive. But our author ends up having a pet starling as well, and she talks a lot about, of course, her relationship with her starling and how she imagines Mozart's relationship was with his starling. And of course, this talks a lot about music in it because Mozart was a famous composer. Oh, our team activity that we're supposed to do is to take a picture or something with a firefighter or a fire station, or something has to do with firefighting, because like that ties back to our firefighter prompt that we got. And my cousin, my mom, and I are planning on making some brownies or cookies and taking it to the fire station tomorrow because it is International Firefighters Day, and giving the firefighters some sweet treats and then asking them to take a picture with us. So we're thinking that would be a great way to not only celebrate International Firefighters Day, but also get our activity completed. And it'll give us a good reason to ask them to take a picture with us. If you want to join TBR Trail, you still can. I will link everything down in the description box below, and I will link Kim's channel, her mom's channel, Julie's channel. My mom doesn't have a channel, but you can see her here on my channel as much as you'd like, as much as she ends up being in the videos. And we hope you do come join us because we are having the time of our life over there. It is so, so much fun, and you could be in on that fun too. So as far as the game of Bookish Life, I don't really have a stack to hold up for you because it's just Fahrenheit 451, whatever book you recommend that I end up choosing, and Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I don't have any of these physical books, but I'm going to electronically read Fahrenheit 451. I can't wait to find out what you're picking for me, and Dungeon Crawler Carl is going to be an audiobook I get to as soon as I finish The Stand. So wish me luck. I do have a lot of books on my TBR that are not on the Game of Bookish Life, but are on my TBR Trail TBR, and I'm excited to get to all of them. I actually really am. I'm in a reading mood right now, so I can't wait to just plow through some of these books, get my team some points, and hopefully get all the books read for the Game of Bookish Life. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've read any of these books that I've talked about today, your thoughts on them. Do you think I'm gonna love them? Do you think I'm gonna hate them? I'm hoping that I love every single one. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens in the next month, in the month of June, when I will be doing a readathon. I was hoping to do a readathon this month. I was hoping to do Squash That series, but the way my month has been going, it's just not gonna happen. And I'm really bummed because I'm missing Squash That series, but I hope everybody who's doing Squash That series an amazing time, and I will catch the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.